In 2020, NVIDIA launched their new generation GPUs, GeForce RTX 3080. 4 days after the release, the company said that they weren't ready for such high demand. Nor were their partners. Many reported record traffic to their websites. We all know what happened next: the global chip supply shortage. Hello, I'm Kirill Stati, the Managing Director for Data and Analytics at AltexSoft, and we continue our series of videos on the practical use cases of artificial intelligence and machine learning in business. As you may have guessed, today we're going to talk about demand and sales forecasting. Let's start. The world is changing with overwhelming speed, faster than ever before. This makes the future even more unpredictable. We live in a time when a series of Reddit posts and comments can shake up the global stock market. When it takes a single tweet from Elon Musk to breathe life into a Bitcoin after it hit a 3-month low. When a teenage girl can start a flight shame movement and cause a downturn in domestic air travel in Germany and Sweden. Situations like these are getting more common. And then there is the pandemic that paralyzed the world's supply chains. Of course, it's impossible to predict another Elon Musk tweet, let alone its consequences. But there are a lot of things businesses can prepare for in advance, especially when the right approach to demand and sales forecasting is up their sleeve. But what is demand and sales forecasting in the first place? Demand forecasting is a practice used to predict the market demand for a specific product or service over a defined period. Sales forecasting deals with projecting success in sales and whether you will be able to meet that demand. In plain English, a demand forecast is how many people will want your product, and a sales forecast is how much of it you can sell. Smart companies employ both practices to sell their goods and services. But even for a small home improvement store, such predictions are difficult to make. There are too many things to consider. These may be local real estate, seasonality, and geographical position, to name a few. And if you miss the mark with any of these factors, you miss the mark with overall demand forecasting. These often results in situations when a company produces not enough or too many products. On a global scale, overstocks and out-of-stocks cost retail companies billions of dollars. But don't just take my word for it. Here's an infamous Nike case. In 2001, the company decided to install demand planning software without proper testing. As a result, there was an overstock of low-selling shoes and a deficit of the popular Air Jordans. The shoe manufacturer lost $100 million in sales. The takeaway is obvious. Accurate demand and sales forecasting is kind of a big deal. But how exactly can we make these sort of predictions? And more importantly, how to make them as accurate as possible? Actually, there are several approaches. It may not seem so, but demand and sales forecasting are far from new concepts. Many companies have been using traditional statistical methods in forecasting processes for years. Automated and coupled with the opinions of professional analysts, such methods work fine, but only under one condition: stability. Statistical methods deal with time series. This means the future demand is statistically estimated using the past demand data. That's why traditional forecasting is often referred to as historical. Say, we can assume that eggs and chocolate will experience their annual demand spike in spring. The past data tells us that it happens every year before Easter. But as we already said, there are a lot of uncontrollable external factors affecting demand, and past values can't always represent such signals with accuracy. For instance, Uber can't forecast demand for their ride services relying only on time series data. The ride-hailing company takes into account all sorts of information, from times of the day and times of the week to weather conditions and city events. Okay, statistical methods don't work when it comes to external data and frequent changes. But then what does? Today, companies are actively embracing AI and ML-driven systems, and for a reason. They make it possible to bring forecasting automation to a whole new level. But there is more to that. According to the McKinsey report, implementing AI in supply chain management can reduce prediction error by 20 to 50%. The use of data, statistics, and machine learning give birth to predictive analytics. It allows you to consider all demand signals that come from both internal and external sources. When we say external, we mean any data point from competitor promotion campaigns to exchange rates. Traditional methods alone fail to capture such information, just as they fail to deliver accuracy, since they can use only a few past demand factors. Advanced predictive analytics uses a sum of different attributes. Also, it helps find out how much each attribute influences demand. So, what about a fast-changing environment? Machine learning has the upper hand here too. With the method known as demand sensing, companies can build a solution to manage real-time changes and respond to them. Demand sensing tools capture real-time data from point of sales and other systems. They compare collected information to historical patterns to detect any demand spikes and drops. Then systems decide whether a particular deviation is significant and offer updates to forecasts. Let's take Statistical, for example. Each year, the eyewear industry leader adds 2,000 new products to its collection. Of course, the company analyzes the behavior of past launches to forecast demand. But that's not all. Its machine learning system tracks behavior patterns during the first launch period too. That's how Statistical reduced the demand forecast error on new launches by around 30%. Nike also applies AI in demand forecasting. The company built a warehouse in the Los Angeles area that uses predictive analytics and real-time inventory tracking. This way, they can project changes in customer demand and ensure that needed inventory is up and ready for 1- and 2-day shipping. Quite impressive, isn't it? And all thanks to AI and ML technologies. I bet you're already wondering how to start forecasting demand this way. The good news? There are 3 different scenarios. The first one is to pick the most fitting off-the-shelf solution. There are quite a few of them on the market. But keep one thing in mind. Ready-made machine learning tools for demand and sales forecasting are often tailored to specific needs of the specific industry. Such solutions provide quite limited functionality, but it may be enough to help you build more or less accurate business predictions, at least at the beginning of your journey to implementing AI automation. So, here are a few big players to consider: Logility Solutions, Blue Yonder, and PredictHQ. The next scenario is to go with semi-ready solutions, like Amazon Forecast or Azure Machine Learning. These platforms will provide your IT team with a set of ML-powered tools to build efficient demand and sales predictions. Yet, solutions in this category mostly work with historical data and can consider all possible external factors. Custom development with an R&D data science team is the third and perhaps best way to use the power of machine learning. This scenario gives you a solution tailored to the uniqueness of your company and its specific needs. You will be able to add as many external factors as you require. Besides that, you can include unique customer profiles. Planning demand with consumer likes and dislikes in mind will help increase sales efficiency. Let's take McDonald's for example. The company invests in research and development and technology to increase customer satisfaction. The fast food giant has acquired Dynamic Yield, a tech company that builds AI-powered software. Together, they created a unique technology to customize menu displays based on variables such as weather conditions, times of the day, and previous customer choices. Of course, custom development requires lots of time, investment, and effort. But this approach guarantees the most accurate prediction results. After all, demand forecasting accuracy is the key to an optimized supply chain. It enables a close match between the supply and the demand. So, let's wrap things up. Driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning, demand and sales forecasting models help automate time-consuming tasks, reduce forecast errors, optimize inventory, and increase sales. Companies with quality ML prediction mechanisms have hammered their competitors big time. Think of e-commerce giants like Amazon or Alibaba that were the pioneers in AI technology implementation. And with the right R&D team by your side, you can become the Amazon of your industry, or at least approach that rung on the ladder. Okay, thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, leave your comments and questions in the comment section below. And see you next time.